Big shocking AEW Dynamite. We have the recap for the September 9th edition, grades, etc., etc. First up, we have MJF and Chris Jericho. They meet up before the show, talk a little trash to each other. Our first match, a tag match, the Lucha Bros against Jurassic Express. Winners, Jurassic Express. I gave this a 3.75. This was a great way to start the show. I'm a super fan of the Lucha Brothers and Jurassic Express. And as I tweeted during the show, I could watch these guys all day. Have a tag match all day long. It was great, great stuff. Later on, we hear from Lance Archer talking about Jon Moxley. Then we hear from Matt Hardy. He talks about basically taking time off and thanking the fans. Then we have Freshly Squeezed, Orange Cassidy versus Angelico. This match was okay. I gave it a 3.0 winner. Orange Cassidy, of course, I would be stunned if Orange Cassidy weren't to win because he just went over big with Chris Jericho. See where Cassidy goes from here. Kip Sabian makes his announcement of his best man and is none other than Miro, a.k.a. Rusev from WWE. This one was a big shocker. I was not anticipating this whatsoever. None of the fans were. No one really knew where this was going to go, and they probably just kind of thought it was just kind of a weird, just kind of lame angle or something like that. And then Miro comes out and drops a promo cutting on WWE and the glass ceiling and the whole Vince McMahon brass ring thing. It was beautiful. This is a big get by AEW to let him go because I think he's one of those types that could have been way more over in WWE, but because of Vince and how politics run there, they never gave him a shot. I mean, Rusev Day was a monster. Easily could have put the belt on him and done great, but they just didn't. I think after that, he's basically was done with WWE at that point, and we're excited to see him in AEW. That was a big shock and a good swerve by Tony Khan and the crew. No DQ match. Jake Hager and Chris Jericho versus Joey Janela and Sonny Kiss. Winner Hager and Jericho. Gave this a 4.0 grade. Elite match of the night. Mostly, I mean, it was very good stuff. I'm not a big fan of Jake Hager, but Joey Janela, Sonny Kiss, and Chris Jericho, I mean, all four of them put on a great show. Sonny Kiss especially continues to impress. He is good. And Joey Janela, it was good too. This was a great match. One that I was not really too excited about, though I do like Joey Janela and Sonny Kiss. But I was like, we're not going to get anything from Hager and Jericho, but we did. This was definitely my match of the night. I gave this elite match of the night a grade of 4. Checking in with MJF and Wardlow, getting into it a little bit. Are we seeing the end of MJF and Wardlow? Checking with FTR. They running their mouth, blah, 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 how great they are. I just be careful because to me, I haven't been impressed with. Maybe it's just, am I missing something with FTR? I wasn't really a fan of them in WWE back years ago when I watched it. And they talk about how technically they're so fantastic and the best in the world. I would not pay to watch them. I would pay to watch Lucha Bros. I would pay to watch, the Lucha Brothers, Jurassic Express, the Young Bucks I would pay for. Heck, I would even pay for Private Party over FTR. I mean, are they overrated? Is it just me? I don't know. Women's singles match, Nyla Rose versus Tay Conte. Congratulations to her. She is now part of AEW. Winner, Nyla Rose. Give this one a 2.25. This wasn't bad. It was a little rusty for Tay Conte, but she actually brought it in and did a pretty good job, and Nyla Rose did good, so it'll be interesting to see where we go with Nyla Rose. Then for our TNT Championship match, Brodie Lee versus Dustin Rose. I gave this a 3.5. Mr. Brodie Lee with the win, but these guys put on a great show. I mean, this was some good wrestling to some two veteran guys really doing a good job. I might have given a little bit more just because I like to give a little bit to the high-flying stuff, but these guys definitely put on a match. You didn't know who was going to – I mean, you figured Brodie Lee was going to win, but you weren't sure who was going to take the win, and Brodie Lee comes out onto – this was also a great match. Both Brodie Lee and Dustin Rhodes did a great job on that one. And overall, it was a great show. I thought the card was going to be weak, given the fact that we just came off of the pay-per-view, but having Miro/Rusev appear, having some pretty good matches in there, and build up to some other things. We got interviews from Paige. The Bucks got suspended because they super kicked Alex Marvez. We heard from Kenny Omega. So really setting things up now makes me super excited about next week's show. Speaking of next week's show, some matches were announced for next week's show. Now, we're not sure if this is going to be on Wednesday or Thursday, or is it going to be split up into 2 days? You just have to stay tuned to Pro Wrestling News Hub about all this kind of stuff. First up, we're getting NWA Women's Title match. Thunder Rosa versus Ivelisse. I know, I keep saying it wrong. That's going to be a good match. Thunder Rosa did good, and Ivelisse is a good one, too. Looking forward to that. Jurassic Express versus FTR. Again, non-title match. I'm not really a big fan of FTR. Singles match, Hangman Page against Frankie Kazarian. Good to see Page get back in the singles hunt. MJF will fight somebody. We're not really sure who. Chris Jericho and Jake Hager will take on Private Party. And Best Friends will take on Santana Ortiz in a parking lot fight that should probably end this feud, you would think. I don't think it can keep going. And that's what you have for next week's AEW Dynamite.